Okay, in this lesson, we're going to look at some word problems. We're going to associate most of them with the elimination method, but we might see that sometimes the elimination isn't the best method. And so our central question says, how do we write systems in standard form? If we're going to use the elimination method to solve these, then most likely the equations are going to be in standard form. If it's in a form more like slope-intercept form, we would probably use one of the other methods to solve. So one of the first pieces that I want you to think of are there's two things that we kind of want to do here when we look at these word problems. Number one, we want to look for totals. A total dollar amount, a total amount of tickets, a total amount of hats, a total amount of people. We want to look for totals because that's going to help us write our equations. And then we also want to see if we can translate a sentence. We know that there's words that mean different mathematical symbols, and we want to see if we can translate a sentence. And then actually the third thing, I don't have written down, but I want to add in here, is that we need to be consistent. So when we write an equation, we don't want to have the number of people, or like let's say the number of student tickets plus the number of adult tickets to equal a cost. It has to be a cost plus a cost equals a cost, or number of tickets plus number of tickets equals number of tickets. Okay, so read the first example to yourself. I'm not going to read it to you. And the first thing that is going to be really helpful, like always, is to define our variables. What are the two things that we don't know? I'm going to suggest that the two unknowns here are the amount of money in our 6% account or mutual fund. And the second unknown is the amount of money in our 9% account. The great thing about this is we're using two different variables, and so it makes it a ton easier. So I told you to look for some totals. So I want you to see here that it says he invested $10,000 in two funds. And so that is going to be one of our totals, that he invested $10,000. The second total we see here is that his investment rose a total of $684. So once he invested it into the two accounts, that's how much money we have. So if X and Y represent the total amount that we put in each account, our first equation is simply going to be X plus Y. X plus Y equals 10,000. Our second equation is going to have to deal with our percents that we have. So if we know he earned 6% off X dollars, then we're going to say 0.06X plus, and then in the other account it was 9%, so 0.09Y equals 684. So there are our two equations. And so now what I want you to think about is how are you going to solve this? You could use the substitution method if you want. Or you can use the elimination method with multiplication like we learned previously. So I want you to solve that, and that will be one of the questions on your video check quiz. Okay, look at the next example. Read it to yourself, please. And the first thing we're going to do is define our variables. And so we're looking at how many countries speak each of the languages. So I'm going to venture out and I'm going to use some different variables. I'm going to use E, and E is going to represent the number of countries who English is their first language. And then I'm going to use F to represent the number of countries that speak Farsi. Now, in this problem, do we have some totals? I think it says here that together, English and Farsi are spoken as a first language in 132 countries. So that would be one total. But we don't have a second total. But what we do have is a sentence that we can translate. It says English is spoken as a first language in 78 more than Farsi. So one of our totals is 130. So we're going to use that to write one of our equations. That's really going to be easy. E plus F equals 130. You're going to see a lot of times you're going to have a very simple basic equation in standard form just like that. The next one, when we translate this first sentence, what I want to ask you is which is there more of, English countries or Farsi countries? And I hope you realize that there are more English countries. So the English countries are equal to the Farsi plus 78. When you read that, you might be tempted to write it a little bit differently. Or like put F equals E plus 78, but then that would be saying that Farsi is more. So there's your system. So now I want you to solve this and come up with the answer. I'm going to suggest here that maybe the elimination method would not be the best method to use. You already have a variable isolated, a variable by itself and solved for. It would be really easy to use the substitution method right there. Okay, last example. First thing we're going to do is define our variables. So again, I'm going to use some different variables. I hope you see that one thing we don't know is the price of gloves. And the second thing we don't know is the price of a hat, of just one hat or one glove, pair of gloves. This one's we do have two totals here. We have Cody, who spent a total of $43. So that's going to be one equation. And then we have Tori, who spent a total of $30. And so just real easy, we're just writing an equation. Cody bought 2 pairs of gloves, so 2 times G, and 4 hats plus 4H. And then Tori, 2 pairs of gloves, 2G plus 2 hats, 2H. And there's our system. Okay, so now again, I want you to come up with the solution to this system and this problem. Remember, on all of these solutions, make sure don't answer as an ordered pair. That doesn't make sense. These are word problems. So we need to make sure that our answer our solution that we state relates back to the problem.